Hey, what's up, fam? Super excited to be with you guys. It's been a minute since we've had a conversation and since we've shared content, but I am so glad to be able to give you guys what I have been working on for the past several months. And so it's going to be some great content that's not only going to elevate you as a leader, but give you strength to be a better human being, to encourage you to pull the greater out of you so that you can think and do differently. So I'm super excited about this today, guys, so that we can get into our conversation. And so for today, just looking at who you are as a leader and who you are as a person, one of the critical things to think about, not just in your professional career, in your life, is to think about building you. What does it look like to build you? What does it look like to build the person that you see when you look in the mirror? To add different levels of dimension to who you are and your person, your acumen as a leader and your acumen as a human being. And so, as we look at building you, the interesting thing about architecture is that before the architect begins to even build the building, he or she looks at the blueprint. They look at the design. They look at how are we going to structure this and build it so that it can withstand the test of time, have a strong foundation, but also have a good presentation about how it looks as well. There's a design here. And before we begin to talk about building us and building who we are as people and as leaders, we have to look at our design, because what you see now is going to influence what you build upon later. What you see now in yourself is going to influence what you build upon later. So if you are looking at an empty sketch now, it could be because you don't fully know yourself as well as you could in this season. And it makes sense. It takes a minute to get to know who you are and find your identity. It takes a long time for that. It's a process. It's a lifelong process. But we have to begin to identify, what are my likes? What are my dislikes? What are my beliefs? But most importantly, what are my core values? Business coach taught me some time ago. He taught me on the importance of knowing my core values, my core beliefs, my core things that I really believe are important to me. And so that's what your core values are, which is the first thing that I want you to be able to take note of. Your core values make up your value, number one, but they also show you what's important to you. I've heard that really what's behind all of your decisions, or most of them in your life, most of the decisions that, if you look back, most of the bigger decisions that you've had to make have been based on you following your heart and the core value that undergirded that moment in time. You followed whatever decision that you made because it was important to you, whatever it was, be it a family decision, a job, a career, a relationship. You switched and transitioned out of one place to go to another place because you followed the leading of your core values. They lead you whether you know it or not. But what you have to do as you begin to identify who you are and identify what's important to you is you have to get a list of your values and write them down. Write a list of your values, because the greater or the deeper and the stronger your values are, the greater your capacity is going to be in that area. So if you have a core value that is really strong in love, you will see that if you work through developing your competency and your capacity to love others, that it will be stronger than it has ever been in your life, because you saw the design. You looked and you said, this is what's in me. This is what's important to me. And so if I build on what's here, I will see what's not already existing in my life. And so core values are important because they help you to see your value, and then they help you to see your capacity as well. The second thing is that you need to be aware of not just your core values, but the other thing when you're looking at building you and building a healthy and holistic version of yourself, you need to find and be inspired to find out your vision. What is your high level vision? Before you begin to look at the details, look at high level. What is the vision that I have for my life? And this could be a vision for your finances. It could be a vision for your family. And it could be even a vision for what you want to do. I will say this, what is critical, looking back now in my life, what was critical early on was that I found a vision for who I wanted to be before I found a vision for what I wanted to do. If you find a vision for who you want to be before you find a vision for what you want to do, the vision for who you want, for what you want to do is going to fall right in place because you have identified the principal thing. The most important and principal thing is to be of good character, to be strong and courageous, to be before you do. Because if you take some time to be and to become, the doing is going to seem a lot less tedious because your doing will now be in line with your being. So now you won't accept a job that does not align with your vision. You won't accept a position with the company, or you won't start a business or start your idea. You won't move that forward unless it aligns with your vision. I've had this saying that I always say, all ideas are good ideas until they meet reality. And so we have to know that as we develop our vision, the vision that, or the idea that you have has to meet the reality of your vision. And if it doesn't meet the reality of your vision, you have to say no to it. And sometimes it's hard for us to say no, specifically as leaders, as people, people of influence, people who are overseeing different operations and programming. It's hard for us to say no to things. We see an opportunity, we see an open door, but sometimes those open doors and those open opportunities are not what God would have us to lean into. And so you have to find out, what is my vision for being and then for doing, and then everything else will fall in alignment. The final thing I want to encourage you with on today as we talk about your building you and becoming the best version of yourself is your purpose and problem statement. So once you have written your core values, once you have written your vision and you have a good idea of where you're going, you need to find your purpose and problem statement. It's going to define what problems you are called to solve. Listen to this. What you have are gifts. What you do with your gifts makes up your purpose. People ask, I know this is a popular question. People always tend to ask, well, how do I find my purpose? Well, what is my purpose? When you dive deep into the substance and the depth of your gifts, you will find calling and purpose. They're on the other side of that. And so sometimes that takes trial and error. But you have to find out your purpose because that's going to help you to understand and identify your problem statement. Your problem statement is, my name is Jane. My name is Darius. My name is Kevin. My name is Lisa. And I solve XY problem in people's lives. That's not only going to change you internally and encourage you to continue to push forward, but it's going to change someone else's life when you solve their problem. Building you starts and ends with finding your vision, developing strong core values, and finding your gifts so that they make up your purpose. Hey guys, hope this was encouraging to you. There will be more videos coming your way. This is the first one, so be looking out for more. But always remember, you cannot be the best leader you can be if you're not the best you can be. So be you before you lead them. Thanks, y'all. Peace.